Well, January certainly looks like it's going to be extremely interesting. Hello everyone, welcome back to more Careering Onwards with me, Mr. Grand 2, here with Liverpool in our 8th season of the Save. We're certainly shaping up to be a very interesting season, that is for sure. We'll come on to what's happening in January in a second. Let's just go straight to what has happened since last time. And of course last time we did well in Europe and then we did badly in the Premier League, losing to Wolves, and we followed that up after the international break by immediately losing 3-0 to Arsenal in what was one of the worst performances from any team that we have managed in the entire Save so far. Haaland, Philip and Willock getting the goals for Arsenal. They were just really good and we were really, really bad. So that was incredibly disappointing. Obviously, we'd slipped up. We'd lost some points. Luckily, though, at the same time, or indeed the following day, Manchester City somehow lost 3-2 to Brighton and Hove Albion. Phil Sherlock, the sort of English wonder kid coming through, getting himself a hat-trick in that one. Brighton were bottom of the Premier League. They still are bottom of the Premier League. This was their first win in quite a few games, and they haven't won since. So, thanks, Brighton. Unexpected, but good news, and it kept us within touching distance for a few weeks at least. We then beat Legia Warsaw 2-0, which meant we won our Champions League group with a game to spare, which is why you're not seeing the Sporting Lisbon game, because it was completely meaningless. We then beat Leeds 3-0, getting the Premier League back on track. Vujovic with 2, Salah as well, and then, well, we're not in touching distance anymore. We are, but not as much as we should have been. A 0-0 draw at home with Newcastle, who are having a good season. They're going well, they're in 5th, but still, it's the dropping of silly points at home. I mean, we haven't dropped any points in the league away from home yet. It's only at home that teams are obviously setting up very defensively, and we are, despite our attacking brilliance for the most part, not breaking them down. A 4-2 win then against Manchester City's conquerors, Brighton and Hove Albion, 2 from Paqueta, 1 from Bentancur and 1 from Salvador. It was a rocket, giving us a win. Not the best defensively in some of these games. A 5-2 win in the pretty much dead rubber against Sporting, and 2 from Vignato, 2 from Dembele and 1 from Salvador again. Very good attacking performance from the second string. We then beat Chelsea 1-0. This was a huge result, especially as it was at Anfield, given how bad we've been there recently. Vujovic getting the only goal just before the hour mark to give us a vital 3 points. And then, most recently, a 3-1 win in the EFL Cup quarter-final against Fulham. Jordan Richard, Rafinha and Colin Nicholson, who has not scored recently, finally breaking a long goal-scoring duck. We spent a lot of money on him. I want to see more goals from him. He hasn't scored. The press were on his back, but he did score against his former club in the League Cup quarter-final, which is obviously great because we want to win the League Cup. We've not won the League Cup, but it's kind of ruined what would be the next 2 episodes, really, because we're going to play Bournemouth and Man City today. Absolutely vital match against City. But as you can see, in January, we would, if it were not for the EFL Cup semi-final against Manchester United, spoiling things, we could have been playing Cambridge United, our first club in the FA Cup third round, followed by the Merseyside derby against Everton. Instead, what we're going to do is, we're going to play those 2 games, and I'll bring you the goals of the Man United game. And then at the end of the month, we've got Man City, again, another absolutely vital game. These are 2 games that will probably decide the title. If we don't beat them, really, home and away, we're probably not going to win the league again. And then we're going to play Leicester as well, our other former employer in this country. So yeah, I'll bring you the goals of the 2 semi-final legs, but it's the other games we want to focus on mainly. But that is for next time. And also just to say as well that the Champions League knockout round, our opponents are going to be Juventus, or Zebra if you prefer. Not amazing. Could have been a lot worse though, because actually, well, the seeded teams over here, RB Leipzig, Lazio, Benfica, maybe not teams you would necessarily expect to win their groups. Meanwhile, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, PSG, Juventus, they all didn't win. It's absolutely stacked, you have to say, because even teams like Leipzig, Atalanta, they're very, very good. It's a stacked round of 16. We've got Juventus, which is not ideal, but could be a heck of a lot worse. So then Bournemouth first of all, that's coming up, and then we've got Man City. We've got to win both games. It's absolutely essential, because you can see, because of that draw with Newcastle, we have slipped to 4 points behind City. They are just I mean, they kind of feel unstoppable. But I mean, Marcelo Bielsa, he's been here what now? I mean, 6 years, nearly 7 years, and he's won the Premier League every single season. I mean, surely he's going to retire soon. He's 71. He's 71. He's older than Sir Alex Ferguson was when he retired. He's still going. Surely this is his last season. Maybe then that'll be our chance. But, well, the board want us to win the league this season, and if we don't, then we may be up for the chop. Alright, well, so I just had to compose myself for a second, because I just clicked the space bar, and City played Spurs, and they've lost. It's a 92nd minute winner for Tottenham from Jesus Verdú. I mean, he's performing miracles out here in the Premier League. Tottenham beat Manchester City. They have dropped points. And it means that if we beat Bournemouth, we will still be behind them. But if we beat them as well, and Bournemouth, then we will go back above them. But you've been here before. You know how this works. This is what's going to happen. It's very simple. We're going to lose to Bournemouth. We will lose to Bournemouth. We'll then beat City, but we will not have got any advantage at all because we'll have lost to Bournemouth. Or we'll beat Bournemouth and then we'll just lose to City anyway. Probably something like that. And for the first time in what feels like quite a long time, the team is pretty much back to full strength and more or less in good form. Alisson, of course, is going to be in goal. Rafinha, Foucher, Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold the defence. Rafinha's been excellent this season. The other guys, not quite the standard they were last season. Midfield, I mean, I've got Salvador in there at the moment because he was playing in the Cup. I did rest a few players for the Cup. I mean, there is a question mark over Frenkie de Jong because he's not been amazing recently. I'm going to bring him back in for this one. But Salvador's played very well. And then Mohamed Salah also missed out in the Cup game. And we brought in Jordan Richard. We'll bring Salah back for this one. But Paqueta and Bentancur, they're still in midfield. Vujovic still on the right. And Nicholson finally broken his goal drought up front. Right, this is exactly the kind of game that we have been dropping points in. Although, I say that, it's away from home. So, maybe not. Scott Saunders up front for them, who we sold to them the other year. In the summer, actually. For 40 million. He's got 5 goals, so he's done better than Dominic Solanke ever did. Otherwise, some very excellent players for the most part. Chris Pepham is a very solid, very reliable centre-back on FM. And Lewis Cook, who for years was sensational, always brilliant. I've never really seen him develop too much in this year's game. Still looks very good, though. But we've got to be winning this game. We've got to be winning it. We've dropped too many silly points against West Ham, against Manchester United, against Newcastle. Games we should have been winning. We can't afford to do so today, especially given City have slipped up. But it looks like we're doing it. 20 minutes in, nothing has happened. Nothing to speak of. We've had one shot on target. No highlights. The first half rapidly disappearing. Finally, though, we've got a corner. Mohamed Salah across. Marko Vujovic looked a little bit offside to me. I think, well, it's fine because it's doing this. So therefore it must be fine. Salah swings the corner in. Vujovic, he's not offside. What am I talking about? There's a man on the line. But it's another headed goal from the German. It's 11th of the season. We've got the lead at Dean Court. Can we get a second? Let's just make this one safe. Get this one done. Trent puts the ball in towards Salah. It's cleared to Paqueta. Rafinha back to Paqueta. Fires a shot and he hits the bar. Well, we've been pretty dominant from the stats, but it's only 1-0 at half time. Farinez in the Bournemouth goal. He's on a 6.9 now. He was on a 7 briefly, so he's obviously made quite a few saves. Nicholson cutting inside. Going across the entire pitch on a bit of an adventure there. Nicholson, he lays it off to Trent, back to De Jong, working it, a couple of one-touch passes. Rafinha, get a bit of room in, puts the cross in straight to Farinez. So this is obviously not the highlight. Saunders knocks it down. Van Dijk gets there to clear it to Bentancur, back to Trent, back to Van Dijk. They're playing a dangerous game here, very dangerous. Umaro Ebalo has robbed Virgil van Dijk, the best centre-back in the world. Or he was. He's passed it now. I said it was dangerous. What is he doing? I'd expect that from a kid, not from Virgil van Dijk. It's a great strike from Embalo, but we've thrown away a lead that was looking very comfortable. Highlight straight from kickoff here. Rafinha has it. Foucher. Now Foucher's been robbed by Scott Saunders, who goes through and Alisson makes the save this time. Nearly 2-1 to Bournemouth due to both of our centre-backs suddenly having some sort of massive brain meltdown or something. It's still not over. Bournemouth suddenly alive. They sense victory. Trent's gone in and it's a free kick which Umaro's going to swing in. Foucher clears it. Is this highlight going to end, please? Maybe? Thank you. Right, we need to wake up a bit. We're going to do it again, aren't we? Paqueta on the ball to Trent. Put the ball in and score, please. It's Content Nicholson. He's been shut down. Suddenly, Bournemouth fully back in this. We completely dominated the first half, albeit with the one goal. And now Bournemouth are alive. They sense blood. We are looking a bit fragile. And we need to be finding a breakthrough here. Bentancur across to Vujovic. Gets it back to Trent. We're working plenty of opportunities, but the final ball is lacking today. De Jong across to Rafinha. Cuts in. Lays it off. Well, I thought he laid it off to Salah. He's apparently taken it on himself. De Jong was apparently involved there. I'm sure he gave it to Salah. Let's have a look at this. De Jong plays the ball across to Rafinha. That's the assist apparently. It looked like he gave it to Salah. He doesn't. Salah just runs near him. But it's a strike from the left back. 4th of the season from the Brazilian. We've got the lead again. And now De Jong's got himself injured after getting that assist. It's a pulled groin for Frankie. We've got Salvador, obviously, is more than capable to come in for him, but it's not ideal. You don't want to be having any players get injured if you can help it. Paqueta driving forwards. It's a weak effort in the end. He's been brilliant recently, but not on that occasion. Right, 10 minutes to go. We're going to make a change. But Nicholson, despite scoring, has once again been a bit lacking in terms of his rating. We'll bring on Aarons as well because Trent's on a booking and he's been a little bit lacking for fitness recently. Rafinha plays it to Paqueta. This would be great. It's not great. Have we done enough? No, there's another highlight. Alisson's playing it out. He's giving it to Van Dijk. Boy, just kick it long, please. I don't want any more silliness from you two. Salah's found Dembele, who shoots straight at Varanez, and it's still 2-1. Yeah, hopefully that's enough. Indeed it is. No more highlights. 2-1. Let's just get out of here. Just get out now. Feels like we got away with that one, but, well, you make your own luck, that kind of thing. We are up to 42 points now. Our goal difference is level with City's. That 3-0 defeat to Arsenal really hurt us. Arsenal, by the way, they're right up there now in 3rd place, 41 points. It's a 3-horse race all of a sudden. It looked like it was going to be us and City. Arsenal have come out of nowhere and they are right up there now. De Jong is out for 7 days, so he should just be back for the Manchester City game, and that is going to be up next. Hopefully, nothing dramatic happens in the meantime, but that is now an absolutely massive game. Is it on a Sunday? If it's on a Sunday, Sky are going to be hyping the ever-living life out of it. On a Saturday, it's the lunchtime game on a Saturday, probably on BT Sport then, so take that, Sky. Well, the game's in 2 days. Vujovic has got a tight groin, so he should be fine. Richard has got a virus. I'm trying not to think about that one. Go home and self-isolate, please, Jordan. So then, less than ideal. Vujovic he should be fine. De Jong is back from his injury too. Salvador is unfortunately suspended, which is annoying, and Richard, of course, is at home unavailable for this one. So we'll bring Naby Keita and we'll bring Harvey Elliott onto the bench as well. Otherwise, the first team is absolutely fine and ready to go. Right, let's get this done. Let's do this. Let's beat them. If we can beat them, then we will go above them in the table. But we've been here before, and there's just a feeling that if we win this, I can't help but think that if we do win this, then we'll lose the next game to Aston Villa in 2 days' time, and we'll be right back where we started. Their team's good. We know it's good. Felix, Martinez, Sterling, the Radu guy who's just insanely good, Kovacic and Silva. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. We beat them in the Community Shield though, and I fully expect you to win this one. I don't, but we got to pretend. I hope they didn't hear me say that. Free kick early on. It's for them though. Bernardo Silva puts it in. It's gone in by Nejuan Perez, the centre back, who does not have a face. He's a youngster. Never heard of him. I wish I still hadn't. Ball comes across the back heel from Martinez, and then Alisson should probably save that. Although I'm more concerned about the 3 guys standing around having a chat. Vujovic has got another injury as well. It's nothing major, but not ideal. He's not going to be at his best. We need to get back into this now. We are, of course, playing them again next month, so it's not the end of the world if we lose this one, but at least a draw would be welcome. Van Dijk just about keeps it. He has to do it again. Obviously, His efforts last time were not great. Still working it through the midfield. Nicholson out to Vujovic. Cuts inside. It's a great chance from him. Really good save by Ederson. It doesn't feel like it's going to be our year. It does not feel like we're going to be able to stop them, because every time we slip up, we can't capitalise on it. Radu puts the ball across. Raheem Sterling proves my point against his former club, as he has done so often in real life. Radu knocks it down, gets it back. The ball across is inch perfect. I mean, that is outstanding, getting it through so many bodies. Sterling's never going to miss from there. It's 2-0, and I just think we're not going to win the Premier League. Right, we need to see a little bit more. Come on, we can still get back into this. Nicholson with a heavy touch, but he's laid off to Salah, who puts the shot in, and Vujovic can't put the rebound in. Ederson is at the top of his game today. Right, we're going to have to take Vujovic off. He's making mistakes. He's been very poor. He's injured. Just get him off. Vignato on, and this could get pretty messy pretty quickly if we're not careful. We managed to get it away. Vignato off the bench, fresh legs running through. He's been tackled, and City are just going to come back. Martinez gets past the defence, puts it across to Felix. It's still not clear. Tavares on the right hand side. Sterling's in, and I hate this game very much. I don't even want to watch this. We don't need to see that. It's basically the same as the previous goal. With 3-0 down, it's just about half time. That was horrible. Absolutely appalling performance, even worse than the Arsenal game, because that was only 3-0 at full time. This is already pretty much beyond us, and look at the goal difference as well. Obviously it's completely annihilated that one, and yeah, we've not been sacked in the save yet, and I don't think we will get sacked until the end of the season, but I think unless we can beat them at Anfield, we're going to get sacked. Second half, might as well just not even bother going out there, because we've been woeful. Salah's done nothing. He can come off. I mean, the midfield have been shocking. Naby Keita, why not? Why not? No one's played well. We have had a couple of chances. If we'd scored those chances, maybe we could have got back into it, but we might as well go very attacking. Just try and get another goal back, or a goal back. It's been an unmitigated disaster. And there we go, Man City 3, Liverpool 0. One of the absolute worst performances I have ever seen from any team I've ever managed on any football manager ever. Every single one of you played dreadfully. I can't make you come into training because there's only one day, but I will shout at you. So there we go, Vujovic out for 3 to 5 days, and once again, we knew it was going to happen, didn't we? If we didn't lose to Bournemouth, we'd lose to Man City. They slip up. We have the chance to close the gap, and then we don't. It's still only 4 points. It is still only 4 points. There is still a long way to go, but, well, there's not that long to go. We're halfway, and at the halfway stage, Manchester City have the advantage once again, and every time we had the chance to close them down, we just don't do it. I'm getting a little bit fed up with it, to be honest. But there we are then. Next time we will be back pretty soon. We're going to play these 3 matches here, Cambridge and Everton in full, with the goals from the League Cup semi-final against Manchester United. Can we get a bit of luck against our first employers and against our Merseyside rivals? We're certainly going to need it. We're going to need them, Man City, to slip up once again, because even if we then beat them at Anfield, it still won't matter. We'll still be a point behind. We're constantly playing catch up. We're constantly throwing any chance we have to overtake them. It's very, very irritating. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe as well so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you next time.